I'm Amy. These are some poems. This is Drama Repost. Can you hear me okay? All right. This is Drama Repost. Welcome, Encore Mania performance, audience of perceptively blameless hands. I'm in my flop era, humiliating publicly. Camera-ready sadness turns my nose tip doll-like blush pink. The yesification will be televised. I put on my best dress for this, communion of wafer and frills. I'm so 1920s in my downturned brows, serving Laura Ingalls Wilder wants to go to the beach. Serving body buttoned fully to the throat, shamed like I'm liberally using adverbs, attention-seeking stones. I'm in a glass house, and you can tell by the way behind me there are clouds. I never understood the movie Melancholia except the ripping apart between the gravity of worlds. I'm so Kirsten Dunst in my dark heaven, haloed in my romantic abyss. Always the face God couldn't draw. Reference photo decapitated at the mouth. It's angel behavior, this senseless mission, how I dream me sick and far away, tooth smashed into sweetness, biting lamb, vector lipstick, staring edge of a static something, knife above thought, don't want unless it's repulsive, don't bone heal without ache in the gap. I want held and slip inside myself, last of my love to the dinosaurs, lens flare on the film of Earth. Thank you. This next one is called Lithographs from the Apocalypse. It's based on the art of Odin Radillion, if anyone's familiar. They're like creepy engravings. Just imagine me specter, crater, wound, sclero-white and bloodless where I oughtn't, an ophthalmic, socketless, spinning backward, missing from orbit, cover blind and spine glittering. Imagine how I hover inches from this witter-shinned globe. I have come as a keepsake, as a sympathy, to pull the chain, to rattle the dead, to be not afraid or skeletal or winged, to ride a pale horse and turn the rings of this world by sword, a wretched observer from my quiet window of sky. The road is dark, my knuckles are cracked. If I don't turn back, I cannot be haunted. You don't have to clap after all of them, only clap if you feel so moved, but I have received the note before that people can't always tell when my poems are ending, so I won't be offended if there's no claps or anything, I promise. This next one is called Night Against Daybreak, Crying in Protest. This one was inspired by Undercover, the fashion brand, dropped like a zine of all their tee graphics, like their graphic slogan tees. So some of these phrases are borrowed language. Anyway, yeah, this is Night Against Daybreak, Crying in Protest. I'm telling you, I don't want to sleep alone and/or do not want to get out of my tiny girl-sized bed, that we are a pair of doves in two different color temperatures, that my feet are grayscale and the rest of me is tungsten light. I'm telling you, my minx coat has a hole cut for the titties, that I am checkered and spotted and the devil's on my back, that I am so stark raving apple bonkers, I am spread for you like toast. Eat me deadly, I'm hard spore fruit. I'm lined up to pray like the risk is holy. I have been kept at such distance from uncanny grace. Hello, my ruler, I am calling for you over the teddy bear radio. I am your little bird marionette. Weird Barbie can't get her antennas out of the splits. I am thinking so loudly in my girl text bubble thought. I am holding my hairbrush like a microphone, screaming, Generation Handgunner, be my lover, magnet heart. This next one is a small glow, which grew to become a ghost. It's been a long year, and I've unhinged at the untitled jawbone mouthpiece aluminum, enough to swallow all planet-sized never dreams. The body is a practice of transformative dress. I've bent akimbo to draw power, bent over the sink to feel my heart jump in my cheeks. Life is pain, and I'm sheared and selling something, a body perhaps, for practice. Perhaps I'll throw it downhill after you, downhill after a wish. How I jest and gestate in this pyramid of glass. I tell people I'm a bog angel and defend it as an emission of gas, a god whose name means breath of the decaying, how I'm a plague and an illness and a suffering all at once. The soil is damp and I'm dehydrating in it, named for burned out light in the back of your eyes. It's been a long year and my inside voice is a wind. My joints creak like portals that don't stretch. I'm an imperfect whole, even for worms. I'll run through this house in my night shift, decomposing. I'll snap neck back and watch you crawl from my throat like a charm. It's been a long year and I long to tear off my jaw, aluminum. I'm polished in my missing teeth, nipple pierced in my wedding pearls. I'm a close-up on a mouth so extreme I'm unintelligible till you zoom out, and I'm woman-shaped Bjork on a soundstage, howling and prying apart. A couple years ago, I dropped a chapbook called An Angel is a Kind of Ghost that had sort of like a trio of poems kind of dedicated to Francesca Woodman. All the context you'll need about Francesca Woodman is basically contained in the poem, so if you don't recognize that name, you'll be okay, I promise. You won't anyway, because this poem is just weird, but this is one of those. So this is Posthumous Solo Exhibition. The story goes that Francesca Woodman threw herself out a window after a breakup. An art of abandoning rooms, a lackluster series of angels. In response, I'm untitled and crouching under umbrellas to avoid an entirely internal rain. What if she was just ornithologically confused? What if she just thought she was a bird? I'm recurring as a mirror or a skull or a potted plant or other small object. On any given day, a naked woman or myself. Omniscient invisible, staged game of elaborate hide and seek. When asked why she was so frequently the subject of her own photographs, Francesca said it was a matter of convenience. Performing girl identity, an interest in unfixing, an unrendered body, an inhuman half. I am, on any given day, a more explicit wing out of white sheets, a dark, rectangular, uncanny, a transitioning state. I'm seeking a relationship between a spectator and my unreal, spirit phoned, weekday hours. I'm always available. This next one is called Self-Portrait Even Closer. I'm in the horror prison, color hospital, sometimes pose small object, budding Cenobite type, exaggerated style lightning. Under the covers, I'm a sad split pea. Need toy punks and rock for my hungry, hungry heart. I'm a prehistoric, treacherous, unexplored little planet. Electric cottage, acoustic life. If you can't handle me at my toy gun bang, you don't deserve my diamond forever. My fabulous kitty mad honey, my removable zippings and unzips. I am a cheap brand commodity of eerie music, deconstructed in my sparkling top. My temple body exterior resembles a warehouse. I'm treated in a substance that recreates holes. I'm falling asleep in my baby bath. The scent of my water is local church dark fantasy. Customers are invited to soak it all up. I'm head-to-toe megastore of the sexual marketplace, sourcing wood from haunted houses to fill my baby gaps. I'm collaging a home sign from subtractable pieces. Baby girl age play regressed to needlepoint. I'm one creative concept cursed into repeating. Chandelier of fake jewelry, graffiti of parts. This next one is inspired by somebody who might be a semi-local artist. I follow her exclusively on Instagram, so I'm not 100% about it. But there's this artist called Sam Hensley who does some cool stuff like puppets and also poetry and also illustration. So she had one piece that had this line, the titular line, the crack is barely perceptible but runs all the way through. We're not talking about a blink and miss it scenario, as I am covered biblically in eyes. I'm pouting and steal my heart lipstick, less of a person and more of a multimedia experience. Instagram explore page of collage artists, surreal visuals, no artistry in the texts. It's spring and I'm bleeding flowers like it's a prayer, vomiting offerings of doves and branches, sexiest fish skeleton ever to crawl. The thing about anatomy is no one recognizes you when you don't have wings. I want to look hacked up. Specifically, like Salvador Dali with complete creative freedom and an X-Acto knife. Utterly liquid, Van Goghified. We live in a timeline where someone invented precision lasers to perform surgery on fruit, and everyone's bending walls around them till they're perfectly shaped. Would you understand what I mean by I want you to peel me like a grape, hold the soft of me in your hand, sentiment beaten and trending and cycled. I want to be the paint you swallow to make you happy, hieroglyph of naked lines, myth of seed and cake. Thank you. I figured the best way to transition from a poem that references Salvador Dali is to a poem titled after an exhibit he did for Walt Disney World back in the day called Venus Pavilion. I know Salvador Dali is canceled, but this art installation was too crazy, so I had to write a poem about it. So this is Venus Pavilion. There are girls among us whose heads are already terrariums, who grew eyes in too many places and no wings to cover them, who twisted longer in wrong ways in pursuit of sun. There are girls who glimmer holographic, who betray the simulacrum, who split the rainbow into its aggregate parts, girls who hold butterflies and render them flightless at a touch. Skin as chrysalis is such a common metaphor, but no one warns you about larvae suckling at your fingertips. No one warns you about rigid tongues. There are girls among us who have already been consumed as meat and returned as honey, who shave their fur so you will neither know them as vulture or bee. These days, I'm less of a woman and more three doves in a bird cage under a trench coat, a fish head with glowing eyes, coral in the form of breasts, sharp to the touch, less of a woman, more of a warped ceiling, bordering on metal, bordering on glass. If you look at my face and see only your face reflected, don't startle. I'm a caged eyelid, built to withstand enormous pressure. I flicker like a dove wing or the sun on rippled water, a repurposed and working art. Thank you. This next one is called No Angels. What if I were made of floral vertebrae in the image of foaming? Rabid god, ostrich style, no head, just biblically accurate eyes. Every morning I wake up and swallow my misery pills. Every night the streetlights shatter off. What if when God made angels, she was modeling a person in a broken mirror? I am a glow, lingering in your hand, naked save the straitjacket. Popularly known with no biological repercussions, captured live, writhing animal, clumsily grasped, pinned for safety through the forehead. Biblically accurate face collage mask. Some nights I'll wear my own skin to bed for comfort. Use my pure form to dazzle my creator. Every morning I'm bruised from falling from grace. Just got two more for you. This one's called Drink of This Wine, for it is wine. I was absent on the day Adam named the animals and got us banned from paradise, so I never knew where to go or what to call myself. I miss the days of eating apples without stressing the ethics of their consumption. I miss the garden. I miss the days when water could be more than water, when it could make me warm and unafraid, when I was sustained 500 times over by the same meager meal. These days, I have no appetite for the crows and their scraps. I keep hoping to rise from the bath and find godlight waiting for the fanfare of being claimed. I want to crawl from the throat of my shame. I pinch myself and ask, what creature is this? The bush, alive, on fire, crackles. It is what it is. Something about Sunday evenings makes me want to kill myself, but then there's morning the next day, and I live to see it, and it's good. Thank you. Last one's called Everything's Broken, Maybe That's the Future. Here we are, laughing at the same jokes via satellite, alive with opportunity to be wrong. Anything is possible in the information ocean. There are baby squids raw in jars. I have a good raw heart functioning. I am a good girl by chance. I want to mail you electric letters old school. One lock of hair in a box labeled sin. Love and magic create sometimes. The same way continents are deconstructing. The same way poison sometimes harms. Like a chain of islands I pull apart. Maybe that's the future. You and me alive in a building on fire. Changed human fabric. Habitable cage, microplastics in. Maybe that's its own kind of beautiful. Maybe the grass will be impossible in its green. Maybe, hungry, I will understand violence. Maybe we'll love each other in slow motion while we tear the building down. Thank you.